One thing I am exceptionally good at is lying to myself. I can pretty much convince my mind to believe in anything, and while that also can be a good thing, some of the times I'm usually just lying to myself. For example, I wanted to talk about YouTube. I don't know the number of videos where I've opened up with an apology saying it's been a while, so sorry you guys, missed you guys, which all is still true. I do miss YouTube, but the truth is I just don't prioritize it. It's something I really enjoy doing, but after a long workday, would I rather sit down and plan a video and do editing, or would I rather go get dinner with a friend, do other things? I didn't realize I was lying to myself about YouTube for a really long time, actually, until pretty recently, when I was chatting with my therapist and we were talking about YouTube, because it's something that I've had almost like an on and off relationship with. It's probably one of my longest hobbies. I started YouTube, I think my first upload was actually in 2012 when I was 13 years old. And so yeah, it's been a long time. I have been lying to myself and making up excuses that, I don't have enough time, or I'm just so busy, I need to focus on my job, and I need to work out, I need to be fit, and I need to eat healthy, and I need to do all of these other things that prevent me from being able to invest time in doing YouTube. But the truth is, I think I was actually just avoiding a lot of the negative feelings that come with doing YouTube or doing any sort of creative pursuit where you subject yourself to other people's opinions. And I'm sure I'm not alone in this. Anyone that's made videos online or done some sort of creative endeavor can probably relate to this, where you're a little bit scared of rejection. You're scared of what people will think. You're scared of if a video underperforms, or if people leave hate comments. The range of feedback can vary pretty widely. But I think I have internalized that fear of just being really scared what you guys will think. And I know some of you have known me for 5-10 years, which is actually even scarier, because as much as I want to distance myself sometimes from my online persona, the honest truth is that if you engage with a video of mine or have seen me online, then you do have generally a pretty good idea of who I am as a person. And I think that is really scary, because most of the time what you see creators saying is the hate doesn't really matter because it's people who don't truly know you, which also is true to a certain extent. But anyway, the point of today's video is to just kind of reflect on if you are lying to yourself and what negative feelings you're trying to avoid, because oftentimes that is why our subconscious will layer on an easier to accept reality because it's less painful. And we can just keep lying to ourselves that, we're too busy to do the thing for easily the rest of our lives. And I think this is a really important topic to cover, because self-deception and the act of lying to yourself, it might be a band-aid fix for the symptoms now, but it actually prevents you from becoming actually happy and doing things that truly fulfill you just because you're lying to yourself. So now I wanted to take a step back and cover what exactly is self-deception and the act of lying to yourself. It usually is just justifying how you can avoid responsibilities, right? So if you have to do a really hard task, you need to study, or you wanted to make that new resume to apply to new jobs, the easiest lie I think we tell ourselves is that we're just too busy, we don't have the time. In today, it's so easy to default to this busyness excuse, because it's still true to a certain extent, right? We always think we're too busy. We always could be doing more, but we just don't have the time. And that frankly has some truth to it. It feels like we always need to crush it at work and exercise and eat really well and be fit and see our friends and call our family and hang out with our significant other and volunteer and do hobbies. And it just doesn't feel like we have enough hours in the day. So I do get that being busy is the easiest excuse that people often default to. But I think what is so dangerous is that all of this really results in, honestly, you feeling worse about yourself. I knew I was putting off YouTube but I didn't know why. And I just thought, I'm so lazy. Like, everyone else has so much more discipline and motivation than me. Like, I'm just not creative. I'm not a hard worker. I cannot commit to uploading one video a week like I always say I will. And so I was really feeling down on myself for quite a long time. And obviously this really negative emotion of like being upset with myself just leads to more avoidance of the actual action, which is to sit down and film the fucking video. So it's actually been very eye-opening for me to reflect back to my life, all the different areas that I care about, and examine where exactly am I being dishonest with myself and why. And 9 times out of 10, it's because I'm trying to avoid a negative emotion that maybe I experienced in the past and it wasn't great. And so now I'm just like really scared of it. Like receiving hate on YouTube, I got that in the past when I was 16, and I'm still really, really scared to have a similar response and feel the way that I did. So some of the signs that you're lying to yourself. I think the first one is easily just avoidance. What are you avoiding? There probably is something in your life that you're avoiding, whether it's like a difficult conversation or just a task that you keep putting off. The second one is self-rationalization. What are you rationalizing to yourself? This is like one of my superpowers, is I can rationalize pretty much anything. And so it's super easy for me to lie to myself because I am so creative that I can make up literally excuses for anything and get out of anything in order to not do it. And most of the time you do have an inkling of like, I kind of know something's going on here, but I'm just gonna push it down and not really examine it because that's easier. And you can just go about your day and not have to confront all of these really scary negative feelings. The third sign is just an inconsistency in your values. I think doing exercises where you define what your values are on paper, like literally write down your values, write down what you believe in, what you care about, what you want your life to look like. And if your actions are not in line with these, then that also means there's like a huge discrepancy going on, because there's some dissonance in that what you want is not what you're doing, but that's not really being registered. And then the last one is really just avoiding emotions. I know this is like a very new topic that I don't think I've ever talked about on my channel, just this style of video. I think avoiding emotions it's so nice and it's so easy to do because it just allows us to feel better about ourselves, and it always fixes the symptoms. It doesn't fix the true root cause. If you recognize that you yourself are avoiding feeling some difficult emotions, then you really have to look inward and reflect on what the fuck is happening, because it really is holding you back from being truly happy. Like, I just have felt off for so long. I'm just like, why can't I just film a YouTube video? Because I'm scared. I think it's also helpful to talk about why we lie to ourselves, because there definitely is a benefit to this. It's more comfortable to stay in kind of a stagnant zone because not too much will change and you're familiar with everything that's going on. But it also means that you will stay stagnant. You're not going to grow. And as time goes on, I think that becomes scarier and scarier, because you can go years will fly by with you just lying to yourself and not admitting the true root cause for something. And I think another big one is just societal pressures. I feel like all of what society typically expects of us is somehow, it is internalized in all of us, whether we know it or not, but we are expected to act a certain way, to go to school, then to get a job, then to get married and have children and buy a house. Like, it's all very standardized. And if you deviate from that path in any way, it can feel really, really scary. But all of these external expectations will cause us to lie to ourselves should we want to do anything different. So, Joyce, how do we stop lying to ourselves? Well, that's a great question. I thought you never ask. The first one is just to reflect on your own time. I think being truly honest with yourself. And for me, that usually comes in the form of writing and journaling. Just putting my thoughts down on paper allows me to kind of see the discrepancies in my thinking. It wasn't until I was writing about like YouTube as an example. When YouTube is at its best, like what does that look like? And when it's at its worst, like the worst case scenario, what feelings arise from that situation. So reflecting on your actions, your behaviors, your emotions, and how you're currently feeling helps set the groundwork. I think mindfulness is something that we've seen just like the word thrown around for so long now that honestly for a long time I just like glazed over it because I was like, yeah, like I'm mindful, like yes. But I've realized actually through yoga was probably one of the only times I was truly mindful with myself and checked in with how my physical body is feeling and what up here is feeling. And so it basically just means frequent check-ins with yourself on like examining almost like you're from a third person perspective, like what's going on. And I think that allows you to see much more clearly into how you're feeling and if things are feeling aligned or if there's something is like really truly out of whack. If you're just like feeling off and stuck, that's usually a good sign that like something's going on and you need to get to the bottom of it. Yeah, just like being mindful of your emotions, feeling them and letting them pass, I think so helpful for me this last year. And I've always known that was a thing. The book that I think was really helpful here is called Self-Compassion by Dr. Kristen Neff. My boyfriend actually bought me this book like a month into our relationship because he was like, you don't know how to process emotions respectfully. But that book really helped a lot. It's about just like being mindful of how you're feeling and making sure you don't repress those feelings or push them away, but for you to feel them and let them go because feelings are fleeting. And then I think the last thing here is just embracing your flaws and truly embracing all of yourself and giving yourself that compassion, even if you are lazy or like aren't inspired. I think you still have to give yourself a lot of love and know that you are trying your best and moving forward. And by accepting yourself and your flaws and knowing that you are lying to yourself or dealing with some difficult stuff, it can lead to growth. You'll be in a better place because of doing the harder work. Even if it's really uncomfortable, just being truly honest with yourself is what helps with the cycle of self-deception. I think my biggest fear right now is that I've just learned that I lie to myself all the time, and I'm just scared for what if I'm like 50 years old one day and I realize like not everything I've done has been a lie to myself, but like I'm living a life that doesn't truly align with what I want and what my values are. I'm doing things that are set to the course of society's standards, whether I know it or not. I haven't made time for the things that I truly, truly care about because I'm avoiding being judged or the fear of rejection, the fear of not being good enough, like all of these things that are not like cliche, but they're very human. They're very universal, and so confronting all of that as fast as you can only be good for you. I didn't even drink my matcha. This is my first time trying Rocky's matcha. So good. And it's like such a beautiful green color. I realized all of my older matcha has oxidized because it's like pretty much yellow. And I also am obsessed with these Weck jars. I saw a girl on TikTok using them and they're so cute. They're also huge. Like this is, I think, half a liter, which is honestly a lot of liquid, but I used to drink like 2 or 3 small glasses. So now I just have one of these and I feel like I have all the energy I need for the day. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know this is really different from what I typically do, but you know, I'm making this and posting it and accepting the fact that people might be like, what the fuck is this? And send it to their friends and be like, look at her, like what is she doing? But oh well. Anyway, I hope this video was somewhat enlightening or helpful, or that it connected with you in any way. Please let me know down in the comments. I always love to hear from you guys. I don't know, honestly, getting over this fear, I know it might sound silly to you because it did sound silly to me. I was like, what do you mean I'm scared of YouTube? But no, I'm scared of YouTube. Like, it's scary to be on the internet, and I know people say just like, if you're a creator, you just have to have thick skin, but like, matter of fact is I don't. When you guys thought I had thick skin in high school, it's because I was lying. Like, I truly do not have thick skin. Doing something that makes you vulnerable, like, I don't like it. Let me know how you guys like this kind of video, or if we want to just go back to the vlogs. Yeah, I've been uploading more makeup content onto TikTok as well recently, and that's been really nice because I get to do it in like a short little spurt. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you stayed till the end, I hope you have a wonderful day, and yeah, sending you lots of love. Bye.